Hello and welcome to my channel. You know, Star Trek has always been one of my favorites, and Mego's collection of Star Trek figures is just spot on. It's great. But you know what? One of my favorite episodes was not represented in Mego, and I don't think it ever will. It's the Changeling, or the appearance of Nomad in Star Trek. You know, Nomad was one of those, I guess, one-off characters that the Enterprise encountered as, I guess, an amalgamation between the Nomad probe, which looked totally different than the Nomad figure that was presented, and an alien life form, both with different missions, and missions that kind of like came together to produce something unique. So today I'm going to be working on a Nomad figure that I've picked up from a site online, Books and Rand, and they produce a nice little figure that's the proper scale for Mego. Well, here's the Nomad that I picked up. I actually got this from Books and Rand. Joe over there is a really nice guy, and he produces some really cool Star Trek stuff. I also got a Horda from him that I'm going to be painting as well. But today we're going to be looking at the Nomad. And you know what? For the color scheme, I was looking online, and I think the best choices for the colors are going to be the peekaboo blue that was used a lot in that Star Trek in the original series. And I'm going to drag out my mirror effect paint again to get that chrome look, or the metal look. In the top of the hat, and also in the base and the chest. And I'm also going to be using some washes. I'm not sure, but I might be using this Nullen's oil to kind of bring down some of the blue. I haven't decided on this yet, but there are little pieces on the piece, these little rivets and things, and these little sensors that need to be painted silver. So you're going to need some silver. And in the chassis, there are three colors that are going to be washed into it. There's a green, there's a red, and I'm using this color wash tint that I got at Walmart. This one, by the way, is a Citadel color, shade, Beal Tan Green. And today I'm also going to be making a yellow wash, and I'm going to be using some soap to do that, so I needed some yellow paint. This is Yellow Golden by, it's a Walmart paint. It's one of those apple barrel paints. I have another yellow, but it's a little dried out. If I can reconstitute it, I might, but you just need a bright yellow for that. So the first step in this is actually taping it off. So I'm going to go ahead and take my painter's tape. Hopefully you guys have some of this laying around. You know, when you're spraying, this is really good because it doesn't leave a residue on the piece. Oops. I guess this is old though, because I'm having a hard time pulling it off. Let me just get rid of this. And I'm just going to tape off the pieces that I'm not going to paint. This one is going to be taped off. This is the top part. That's silver. So that was easy. And just make sure you have a straight, consistent line along the top. See, I need to push that in. What I'm looking for is I'm just making sure that it's nice and straight. It looks like I have I may have to do that over. Because you want a nice, straight, clean line. Okay, that may have it. Let me go back and double check. Well, I think that's good. And then I'm going to tape off the chassis here. This will probably be a lot easier. I might do it in two sections. You know what? I don't remember if that was silver up top. I'm going to say no, and I'm just going to get that clean metal line here, and then I'll use my silver paint to accent those pieces up there. And then the bottom. This is probably going to be a really easy thing to paint. So for some of you guys who are like hesitant to pick up a brush, maybe be more comfortable picking up a can. I don't know. I have more difficulty with the spray cans than I do the paint brushes for some reason. I guess I don't have a lot of experience. My dad actually would paint cars for a living. For a while, that's what he did. So I guess the talent's there in the family. I just need to tap into it. Okay. So I have it taped off. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the base. And, you know, I just found this. It was like from a game or something. And I thought it would make a really cool looking space base. So, but, you know, if you have a square piece of plastic, you know, you can use your imagination for a lot of different ideas for a base. But make sure it's a little thick. You want to make sure that it's at least, you know, 1.5 inches. You know, how long is this one? Let me see. Yeah, this is 2 inches across. Yeah, that'd probably be a good size, about 2-inch base. And I'm going to use this acrylic rod as a stand for my my Nomad. So this one right here is about 1/8 of an inch. You know, so what I plan to do is drill a hole and push this through and use some epoxy to go ahead and set it. So to get the hole in the center, what you do is you can trace out the lines from point to point. Oops. Maybe I should use a straight edge. And then ooh, hang on. There's already a mark there. Look, it has like a little divot. I'll use that. I'll use the same method for my Nomad though. So I'm just gonna go across there and across there, and then where the lines meet. You know, I don't think you can see that other line. Let me go ahead and see where the lines meet. That's going to be your center point. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it outside and I'm going to drill it, and then I'm going to paint the peekaboo blue on these portions that I don't have taped off, and then I'm going to tape them off when that dries, and we're going to do the chassis. So I'll be back. We're going to have a lot of it finished by the time I get back. Well, you know what, I marked that and the drill bit like shifted over a little bit, so it's not perfectly centered, but I think it's going to be good enough. And then I'll cut it back, you know, I'll cut it back for the desired height. I think I want it to be about maybe here, so I'll cut off maybe 1.5 inches of the base. The base came out great, you know, I was able to get that pretty much in the center. So that's where I am right now. I'm going to go ahead and slap the paint on, and I'll be right back. Well, I have that drying. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tackle the base next. I have some of this stuff. It's called Super Weld, and it's basically a UV glue, and it sets immediately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that. Let me put it around the base. Man, that looks sloppy. Hang on a second. Okay, now that that's in there, I'm going to go ahead and place the rod. I drilled it with a 1/8 inch bit, and I'm going to make sure that it's nice and perpendicular by pushing it down against a flat surface, and then just use the UV light to set it. You know what, I should have gone from behind. Okay, so There's the base, nice and sturdy. I'm gonna have to see if I can clean that that up. I don't know what I'm gonna use. Don't want to use acetone, but I may have to. Yeah. Oops, almost knocked that over. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try to clean that up with a little acetone, and we'll be back. All right, it's time to take the tape off and see how it looks underneath. I let it cure for or dry for about 3 hours. So I should be able to tape off the other ends and get the silver paint on. Wow. This tape is supposed to be easy to remove, and I'm having a difficult time. Okay, there we go. Yeah, nice clean lines. There we go. So that's what I have so far. I'm going to go ahead and tape off the base and the top here and spray paint those pieces with my silver paint, my mirror effect paint. Let's see how it comes out. Let me get those taped up real quick. I don't think I'm going to have to tape everything. I'm just going to mask out, I guess, some of the pieces, and then maybe cover it with some paper or something. I don't need to use tape everywhere. But I'm trying to get a nice clean line there. Okay, let's take a look. I think that's got it. Okay, got that part. May have to tape the whole thing. I didn't want to, but looks like that might be it. Yeah, so long as I stay away from the You know, it's really difficult to get that edge. I'm thinking I only have to do it once. If I paint it this way, you know, it'll go off this way. I just need to cover this, and then I should be able to tape this bottom part pretty easily. So let me just do that. I'm going to tape off the head, and then I'm going to tape off the portion of the base here, because I think that would be easier. Yeah, that's a lot easier. And since this will be pointing down, if I get a little overspray, it's not going to matter. Whereas on the top, it will. Okay, so I'm going to, like I said, spray away this way. Let me get that top part covered. And hopefully it gives me some nice clean lines. I think this paint tape is this painter's tape is kind of old too, because it's not cooperating, it's falling apart. It's not at all like it used to be. All right. I think this is going to be the way to go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and paint that up. Let me get a little bit on the bottom. Use some of this scrap stuff. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get that spray painted, and we'll come back and take a look at the results. You know what? I will say for that silver paint, it dries immediately. I mean, I just finished spray painting it right now, and look, it's already dry. And it's not as clean as I would like it to be here, but it's good enough, I think. See, there's the top portion of it. You can see a little bit of overspray right there, but really not a lot. Let's take a look at the base. And the base looks a lot better. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the silver accents. I'm going to go ahead and get my silver paint. And there's just some like knobs and bumps and stuff that they're going to be silver. I think this was like a sensor array that was on Nomad. I remember one of these things. It was like an antenna that popped out, and he actually stole Uhura's mind to get some information from her. I guess these little knobs here. I'm gonna get those to be silver, and then I'm going to use my my washes to go ahead and add some color to this guy. I may have to take another look at these projections here and see if I have to add some colors to them. Okay, I think that is good. Let me go ahead and get the washes in there. Let's see. I think this one is going to be the green. And you can see how the paint's just being layered in there. I'm going to remove a little bit of the wash. I just want it to be in the recesses. So that's the green one. Let me go ahead and get the red one done. And I might alternate these colors too. Let's see, here's the red. I think I may need to go back there and get some green in there. Looks like I may have removed too much. And then I'm just going to continue doing this. Actually, I could do each. Let me come down here and make this one the green one now. And I'll just alternate. It looks like there's an imperfection here. And it's kind of bleeding through. Let me go ahead and clean that up. I'm going to go ahead and get a tissue paper. There we go. All right, let me go ahead and do the red. All right, this will now be the red. Again, I'm just going to alternate like I did before. There we go. And next what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a wash. I'm going to create a yellow wash to put in the other section. Now to do that, I put out here a little bit of dish soap. And I'm going to dilute it with some water. And then I'm going to add my yellow. Just one drop. It seems a little bit too thick. Let me go ahead and add some water here. See, this is going to be my yellow wash. And washes are pretty easy to make. You just need a little, like, soapy water. Now I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to take a look at those projections up at the top and see what colors they need to be. I think that's got it. I'm going to check these out and see if there's any sort of color on those. The silver would be a good base coat anyway for it. But yeah, it's looking good. I'll be right back. Yeah, the best pictures that I can find for those projections show them as a gray. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint a little bit of this wash, this black wash, this Nullen's oil, just to kind of pick up some of the detail of the piece, because they have like little ridges in them. See, that's what the effect I'm going for is. It's really an easy model to paint. You know, there's not a lot to it, and especially if you use your spray paints, you know, it's not a lot of work. Yeah, I would not hesitate to try this guy. And you know, he's a classic, I wouldn't say villain, you know. The story of the Changeling is that a fairy is like trying to replace a human child, right? And when Nomad was traveling the galaxy, he got damaged and merged with an alien cleaning unit. I guess that's the best way to describe it, because it would go around and it would cleanse different areas, you know, from undesirable organisms, you know, like somebody scraping barnacles off the bottom of a boat, I guess. And so it kind of got its programming flawed. You know, majority of it came from Nomad, who was trying to find, you know, different life forms, and kind of mixed it up with that and was looking for different life forms to destroy. Looking good. I think I'm going to do that with the tops too. It's an easy step that really adds some definition to the piece. And I can go back and I can highlight it with a little bit more silver. But it gives that contrast and shading. Yeah, look what it's doing. Yeah, I really like what that's done. I'm not going to do the tip. I'm going to do the base part of it. Wow, it looks good. I'm going to go ahead and attach the base. Well, you know, let me let that dry and then I'll attach the base. I got the base there. So give me a moment. Be back soon. Now, I want my Nomad to be about as tall as a Mego figure. So I went ahead and I snipped off some of the acrylic rod, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue it. And again, I'm going to use this this ultraviolet. I guess it's super glue. And then I'm going to try to make sure it's standing up straight, or as straight as I can get it. And then I'm going to hit it with the UV light. Now, it looks like it's still a little crooked. I mean, you know, it's fine for me, but I mean, if it's still a little crooked and you need to bend it, you can get a heat gun and you can do some minor alterations to it, but I think that's good enough for me. It looks pretty straight. Let me go ahead and get it on the carousel so we can take a look at it, and put it next to some figures. Well, here's my Nomad next to Scotty. Scotty has one of those scanners in his hands, those engineering scanners. I actually got that from J-Spy. He has a whole set of like Star Trek accessories, which are really cool. But that Nomad looks great. I actually did have to use a heat gun to kind of straighten him out because he was leaning a little bit. But I think I got him now. I think that's also the perfect height, right? The tip of the head meets the tip of Scotty's head, so it's about the same height as that Mego, 8 inches. So just cut your acrylic rod, appropriately. But really, really happy with the Nomad. You know, this is a great figure to have to add to your Star Trek Mego collection. You know, and that robotic design, I think, was used a couple of times. If I remember, they actually used it as the Romulan cloaking device too. It looks something similar to that. Well, that's all I got today. I hope you guys having a good time. I hope you guys are playing with your Megos. Until next time, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye now.